Да, добрый день, мы приветствуем
Good afternoon. We would like to welcome everyone who is attending and watching this particular program, and we would like to support the national literature as in our event is called Made the Modern Buryat Poets. We have Anna Banaeva, the Buryat poetess and translator from Mongol and Buryat languages, and Elbeg Zandraev is also a Buryat poet and also a soloist of a Buryat theater. We will also talk about the current political situation in Buryatia. We'll also talk about the poem writing situation in Buryatia, how the country, this republic is living. Anna, please tell us about yourself and what you do as a poetess. Good afternoon. I also wanted to tell you a little bit about the Buryat literature. You can also tell more about the literature. It is something really interesting to listen what you have. I started writing pretty late when I was 50 plus years old. I also started doing the translation being pretty old. Now I'm 60 years old. And I also published my book where I have translations from Buryat and from Russian. I also really fluent my first language and the Russian language, and I also really fluent in Mongol because this language is pretty close to the Buryat language. That's why I can also translate from Mongol, Buryat, and Russian language. And this is the book I want to show you. It is called The Ash of Grass. The Ash of Grass. On this side, it is in Russian, and on this side, we have the same poems in Buryat. And here it is written also The Ash of Grass in Buryat. What else can I tell you in this case? Could you also probably tell us what do you have for your poem? What are actually? It is also important, actually, how the ethnic elements, how the Buryat national stories are actually connected to you in your poems. This is something what I can really tell you. For example, once upon a time, there was a case when my friend, a teacher of mathematics, she brought a book, a textbook for mathematicians because she is a teacher of mathematics, and I was really impressed by different stories there. And this is something what I really wrote about. And I also wrote the poems about it, which is actually the Sad Blue Bull, which this is the title. I wouldn't actually say. I also read a lot of literature. I also read a lot of Chinese poem writers, and also read a lot here, and this has also a certain impact, and also has an impact on my poem writing. Or for example, I can also watch a movie. It can also have certain impact on me. And this is actually kind of a motivation for me to write poems. Anna, can you also tell us, you started writing being not in a young age, being 50 plus. What is actually the first reason for you to write your first poem? How did you get it right that you had to write poems? I was 50 and I retired. And because I actually represent the Horin Buryats, and this dialect of Buryat is not really close to Mongol, and I had a significant problem. I wasn't even able to understand the Mongol language. I also was not able to watch TV and understand what's actually said there. It was a kind of a vacuum in my head. I also didn't have enough opportunities to communicate. No, I apologize. It was not in Mongolia. For the first time, it was when I was actually working in Shivo Istoks. This is a really nice city, and the streets used to be dark at that time, and actually it was pretty slippery on the road, and I actually fell down on this slippery road, and I looked into the sky, and I really liked it. I decided to keep lying for a while, and I was so happy that I really fell down on the snow, because this particular situation helped me actually to look at the sky and enjoy it. And also wrote rhythms in a poem. You can write poems. And the same was also in Mongolia, because I spent 6 months in Mongolia. I managed to learn Mongol and also started understanding the Mongol language. And once upon a time, I was invited to one natural resort. It is a kind of natural monument, and also so very interesting flowers for me. We call them edelweiss. They are known as edelweiss in Europe. And also saw these edelweiss flowers for the first time, and they were in different colors. They were yellow, red, and it was really so fantastic. And Mongolian had to eat at least once a year this edelweiss without, but eat as an animal without tearing it with your hand. And I asked actually what was the reason for eating this edelweiss, and the answer was in order actually to feel better inside. So I actually started eating with my lips this edelweiss flower. Actually, I started feeling myself as a sheep, because usually the sheep stay on their 4 legs and eat the grass or flowers in this way. And Perenov is also a poet. He looked at what I wrote, and I can also write these white poems. So I started publishing my poems in social media, got some likes, people started waiting for my poem. Or do you consider yourself more as a poem, and it is not an important moment for you? This moment is not really so important for me. However, I'm a Buryat in my mind. There is something what actually differs those who write in Russian and who write
Ханың хальчинды улелге веб харин ямар хальчинды шыруынды шемне улелге шохыншы нам тухай ханаға забоқы күнчі мұнауы орол орыго хараха онталтайым гедірге ханыр охарашы ойғының гынты зудындым харақтықы бұшшым гынты бей зудыну дұрышне шыңғықып шыне түрі хосырығың хизарну цо хишқы өгінті хайолэға салоқың наға зулғы зудың ноғоне шыне нүгіті могу на русском теперь.
Now I can read it in Russian loud. The ash of grass because I do have a quite a grasp. Every time I get in the train, I can also remember your words. Don't and never take a seat right to.
Вообще я начал недавно писать.
I started writing not so long ago.
Я как бы не назову это стихами, но
These are poems, but they are also different.
Это очень хорошие стихи, Элбэг.
These are really good poems.
они касаются жизни.
These poems are about our life and what is happening right now.
Мне интересно именно,
And I'm
если,
really interested to what is here.
ну, как сказать, ну, они мне помогают, и мне самому.
And these poems can really help me when I write,
Успокаивают, что ли.
because when I write, it can really calm me down.
Поэзия очень интересное
And
занятие.
that's why this poem writing is a very interesting thing I do.
Это можно даже сравнить даже с другими творческими.
Creative arts.
Писать именно для...
Me personally,
Не обязательно в порядке.
I take
но просто
interest in writing in the language,
о чем я пишу.
not for their sake.
Да, то есть вам важно, чтобы
That is,
читатель, да, в данном случае молодые
Да.
люди, они вас
you care about
Да,
the fact that your readers, young people,
понимали,
should be able
чтобы им было интересно, чтобы
to
они
understand what you mean. I want them to take interest. I want them to be
проявляли интерес.
increasingly engaged in my works so that they share my ideas
Как бы держать такой вот,
even more.
ну вот, как сказать, поддерживать вот это вот, чтобы постоянно был интерес молодежи.
Just to keep this interest alive, to keep them focused at all times.
Как непотопляемый корабль все время
It should be like
ищет
an
идёт,
unsinkable man of war
типа такого, что ли.
that goes to its goal no matter what.
Элбэг, расскажите еще, пожалуйста, вот...
Thank you, Elbeg. That is indeed interesting. You work at a theater, is that correct? Answer: yes, I work at the Amar Sain theater as a vocalist, a soloist. I have a degree in music from the Pyotr Ilyich Tchaikovsky School in Ulan-Ude. I specialize in vocal art. My voice type is baritone.
Что еще?
Это музыкальный театр, и он национальный.
So it's a musical, national theater, right?
Здесь я пою бурятские песни, родные
Correct.
бурятские мотивы.
I sing the
Очень,
ethnic
конечно,
Buryat
наши
pieces by Buryat composers.
сочинили в своё
They
время,
came up with brilliant songs
в те года, которые
back in the days. That was
2000-х годах.
9.
Сейчас когда я пою эти песни,
I really enjoy the beauty of these songs as I sing them, as I perform. I can really realize
как сказать,
the depth.
кладезь, да? Ага, золото.
It's indeed
Да.
a gold nugget, I should say. Elbeg, would you please read one of your poems to us? Indeed, I will.
Мне надо перевести, да?
Am I supposed to translate?
Смотрите, вы можете прочесть...
You can read the original,
либо прочесть, если у вас есть перевод.
and if you have a translation in front of you, you can read it as well, or you can retell the meaning of it. It's up to you. It's up to you to decide.
Перевод будет, ну, сразу, прямой такой перевод.
I'm going to read it with translation.
Про возможность
Help someone.
сделать что-то хорошее человеку.
This is about doing something good to a person. That's the idea.
Сначала бурятский текст, потом русский.
I'm going to read the Buryat text first.
Арга. Намды аргывен. Өн аргары тіркунды. Бешейхім шия тоға асым. Бешейхім шия аргары тоғылғыдым. Ямыр екі тушық болны. ямар их боюн болны кешіп. Менгін занята олқыден ямар их боюн болны кешіп. Бе байырланып, ема жарғылты өлурін қиябықыда. Жарғылты гір бұл қарқыда. Тырсақта ойдынып, жарғылғы хугудей қарқыда. Жи абуғы хугудей қарқыда. Тырсақта орто асудыл тәйвеніп. Еуінді нөкі дезін жарғыл теп. Бұшызын жарғыл. Хымбыда қылқы. Теоғыдо ема жарғыл зорақ емді. Хымбыда қылқы дылқы дәрі өлдігін ем болдық. Мандоды емін ұғынудыр андалсыры баяқыдым не. Еуімін құдылқы көй. Хулихып денадық. Хато ошоно дейін зааха бодақып дем. Хамтын құсыр бұқы емін зағыдыға. Хамтын құсыр бұқы ошырып шетхігдіға. Хамтын құсын там бұқы құсын. Так, теперь перевод.
Now I'm going to read the translation into Russian. Opportunity.
У меня есть возможность.
I have an opportunity.
Даже если хоть маленькая,
Even though it's a small one,
я помогу.
I will definitely help.
Ведь помощь является большой поддержкой.
And this help is
А когда мы
great
помогаем
support.
людей,
When you help millions of people, it's
я
about virtues
и здоров.
and makes me happy. When I feel happy, I'm in good health. I feel happy when I see a happy family. At the same time, I feel sad when I see unhappy children or when children don't have parents. At the same time, I pose the following question to myself. Why are some people happy while others are not? And some people may say, it's through their effort. And others say, there are various situations taking place in the world. If we are to speak instead of taking action, it will remain the same. Nothing is going to change at all. In good times, we feel happiness. When the bad days and hard days come, we're trying to fix it. By joint effort, we are capable of anything. We can solve all the problems by joint effort, by being a close-knit community. This is a strong force. That's it.
Да, спасибо большое. Спасибо.
Thank you very much.
Что хотите прочесть, может быть?
Probably you would like to read another poem, another piece before we proceed with the discussion. Yes, let's do one more.
Мұны бұшаға ұғылыдыр бұшаға қызепді. Нағайы андау болы қыса керігі. Ең бұтыл явың шыншында зағла әшіліқ. Гүнті ылықыш орынғы бұшы. Андау қарғағар яманы бұшы. Тегі дорты асудыл тәбіқыш. Әні менегу. Хыжы баян юмын намда байыр асырын. Ең асудыл тәбіжі баяқыда бұйері үнді байғаш яға. Сычқылері андоты ажалыныш. Ханы оның жарақыш, ханы таңшын. Харин тырысықта нағаненға сашын кеқырғайын зорықыда гынты тақтышқыш. Алы менгін бадылны шамда хатығы. Харин орнеш сахиоан ханы байғақыда. Хыдыши хату бәк үбдет қарқырғы тақса керу. Зоры, худлы. Если не завтра, то если не сегодня, то завтра.
If not today, then tomorrow. If not tomorrow, but then one day. There will come a time to change our lives. This thought, sooner or later, will strike you, will visit you as an important guest. You will realize that you're moving along the wrong path, and you will pose the following question to yourself. Is it the right thing to do? What I'm doing right now, is it a pleasure for me at all? When you ask yourself such questions with your heart, you're absolutely in a different place. And you will be entirely happy when you feel at the right place. This is when you will develop. This is where you will attain success. You will become a reliable friend for someone. But at the same time as you picture your future, you will abruptly come to a stop. Your remote thoughts will make a barrier to you. But these barriers exist only in your mind. No matter how numerous these barriers are, you will anyway find a way out. You can break all the imaginary barriers. You can picture your life the way you want it to be. If you don't make this step, you will regret not doing this for your entire life. Make a decision. Be decisive. Move on. Thank you, thank you. I would like to address Anna and you, and let's proceed with the discussion. At first sight, it looks like in Buryatia, the situation is pretty good in terms of writing and poetry. If you use a search engine, if you type modern Buryat poets in the search engine bar, you will see several last names, 4 to 5 at least. This is what the search engine shows in the search results. You can tell that the literature and poetry life is going on. This is an outside look. When you look from inside, what is your take on the poetry-related situation? How do you see it? I'd like to say that the Buryat poetry overall and the Buryat literature overall is moving along the two areas and two directions. The most Buryats who write in Russian, and the second one is those who write in the native Buryat language. This is how it goes. Of course, we do have problems. The problem is that those who write in Buryat, there are actually few readers. A language problem in general, it exists. Many people lost their native mother tongue. So it would be appropriate to write poems the young people will take interest in, because they would be easy to understand, because it would be the modern Buryat language. And by the way, it's spoken Buryat language. So in this, we avoid complex constructions and devices. It's so easy to understand. This is a way to make the Buryat poetry more popular with the Buryat people overall. Yes, Elbeg, what is your take on that topic? Today, there are young people who write in the Buryat language, which is very admirable. These are young people. I know already a few people, ladies and gentlemen. All of them are young people. They already express their thoughts and ideas on paper. I follow them with great interest. But if we think in a different way, like thinking irrationally, speaking of the good things, our mother tongue will always be alive, and nothing bad will happen to it. That's my point. I'm sorry. I think at least through the merit of yours and through the merit of Anna Banaeva, the Buryat poetry is still alive and will be alive. My idea is that we've been thinking about the problems of our language quite a lot. We keep enumerating the cons, the issues, the problems. Probably instead of focusing on the disadvantages, we should rather focus on the fact that our language will stay alive and that's a fact. And speaking of the problems and challenges, well,
Это уже надоело всем, да?
this is something we're sick and tired of. Everyone refers to this. We even have poetry on that. Instead, we should rather speak about the good things only. I will skip referring to the good things, the positive things, and that's my idea.
Если разрешите, я вот с таким комментарием войду.
If you allow me, I will certainly make this kind of comment. Maybe you don't find, maybe not find it appropriate. As for you, Elbeg, and I think the following thing about your poems. If we talk into account other people, especially people in the Caucasus,
тоже народы.
first of all, the Turk peoples like Bashkirs or Tatars, quite often we can hear in their poems about homeland, about the language, about the national identity. Do you also have it all that your poems are actually more a kind of something what you can kind of everyday life? You can also may think about it, why it is so.
Возможно, я не прав. Возможно, я
Or
ошибаюсь.
maybe I'm wrong,
Но у меня сложилось вот такое впечатление.
but I've got this kind of feeling.
Бытовая.
Oh, yes, a guy kind of everyday life poem in a good way, in a good sense. This everyday life poetry is something about what is surrounding you, about the current situation in life. That's what I wanted to tell you.
Ну, наверное, да.
Probably you're right.
Я не помню себя.
I don't really remember myself. I don't remember my disadvantage, and I have to correct myself here. And Elbeg may have it here. And
Знаете, тут дело, где ты находишься именно и
it depends on where you are, what you think about,
какая мысль тебе в голове.
what kind of thoughts you have in your hand,
Все окружение, все влияет на это.
because everything is surrounding can also can have an influence what you write about.
Почему мы пишем о родине? Потому что
Why do we write about
почему мы
our homeland? Because we love our homeland. Why do we write about our native language? Because we want this language to be spoken, to be used. We want our homeland to be known. This is why we're doing it.
Ну, хорошо, да, спасибо.
Okay, thank you very much.
Наверное, в заключении я бы
And in conclusion, I propose
вернуться к современной бурятской
to
поэзии.
come back to the modern Buryat poetry. And you were talking about the young people, Elbeg. We have the Amar Sain.
Сегодня подключиться, но мы тоже про него знаем и помним. Вот описать текущую, поговорить о текущей ситуации, что происходит, кто пишет.
And I also really wanted to talk about the current situation in order to understand what everyone does, in order everyone of us was able to get in deeper into the Buryat literature. And really, I wanted to actually point him out, and Elbeg can also add something here. We also have students at our medical academy, and this is a student writes in Buryat every single day, and you can also read his poems in the social media. There is another female student of this medical academy. Her name is Amar, and he writes really deep thoughts, and he won actually for one of the poet contests in Buryatia.
Сарюн Самсонова басын байхалаң дере, мұны күштең бүйініне давно не слышал.
I haven't worked here for a long time and I haven't seen this kind of poem writings.
Шухмда. Бурядар.
Да, а вот можете, Элбэг,